Hey guys, the Comics Kid 2099 here, and over the last few weeks I have been reviewing graphic novels from the Fear Agent series by Rick Remender. I've reviewed the first 5 volumes of that series, and today I'm taking a little bit of the break from the ongoing Fear Agent story to review Tales of the Fear Agent, and this is by a whole bunch of different writers and artists, and basically during the actual Fear Agent series there would be these little short backup stories in each issue. And while I was reading this, and after I finished reading it, I was very tempted to just skip doing a video on this volume because I really didn't feel like I had a whole lot to say about it, and I still don't, but the only reason that I decided to go ahead and do a video was because I said I would in my video review for Volume 5, and I didn't want to skip that after saying that I would do that. But basically, if you are reading the Fear Agent series and you want to see the unfolding of this really long-form character arc for the character of Heath Huston, as told by Rick Remender, you can very easily skip Tales of the Fear Agent because this is not Rick Remender's story. Now, yes, a few of these stories are by Rick Remender, but they're not necessary in seeing the unfolding of this long character arc that he's going through over the course of 6 volumes. In fact, this is mostly, stories by Hilary Barta or C.B. Cebulski, he did one, or Steve Niles. And if you're like, hey, I'm a huge fan of C.B. Cebulski, or I'm a huge fan of Steve Niles, I want to see what they did in the world of Fear Agent, with the character of Fear Agent, you're going to be a little bit disappointed because these guys, they don't get to exercise their creative freedom in these stories because A, these stories are really short, and B, doing so would kind of interrupt Rick Remender's creative vision that he has for this series and this world. He has a specific thing that he wants to do with Fear Agent, and so you're going to get the feeling if you read this, or at least I got the feeling when I was reading this, that they're very limited in what they can do. And it kind of reminded me of the Grendel Tales series from, I guess, Dark Horse back in the 90s. Grendel was a character in a franchise created by Matt Wagner, but the difference between Grendel and Fear Agent is that Grendel was this huge, massive series with a very vast universe, and it was larger than any one character. And so he very easily could let these other creative teams jump in and tell some kind of story set in the world of Grendel, and it wouldn't really interrupt what Matt Wagner wanted to do in the main Grendel title. But here, Fear Agent is about Heath Huston, and sure, there are other supporting characters, but it's Heath Huston's story, and so Tales of the Fear Agent is also short stories about Heath Huston, but as such, they can't really do any wild and crazy thing that they want with the character because it's Rick Remender's character, and he still has stories that he wants to tell with that character. And so, if you want to see an anthology story that's short stories that are fun, quick and snappy, and there's a little bit of science fiction levity here, a little bit of neat concepts and stuff that are executed by creators who you like elsewhere, you might enjoy this book. But you also might feel like it's a little bit limited in what it could have been, and I did get that feeling while I was reading this. It's not a bad book, but I do get the feeling that it's kind of just an interruption for the main Fear Agent course. And if you are going to read this, I would even suggest read all 6 volumes of Remender's Fear Agent and then go back and read this. The only reason that I did read this volume now was because that's the order that Wikipedia had it on. It had read the first 5 volumes, then read Tales of the Fear Agent, then read Volume 6. So that's what I did, but really this just kind of feels like an interruption of the main narrative. And so that's not meant to be a diss against this book because I think it's an alright book, but I do feel like it could have been better. I just don't know how, because, like I said, if it had tried to do the things that I would have wanted it to have done, then it would have kind of gotten in the way of what Rick Remender wanted to do in the main series. So those are my thoughts on Tales of the Fear Agent. I really didn't have that much to say, but if you like this video, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you've read Tales of the Fear Agent, let me know what you thought of it in the comments below. And I will be back next week to talk about the final volume of Fear Agent. So be sure to check that out. And I will also be doing some other videos on this channel. So be sure to check those out as well. Roughly once every other day is when I will be doing videos. So that's all I have to say for this one. So I will see you guys later, and I will catch you then. Have a great rest of the day.